Yeah, so hello everyone. Hope you are good. Maya is with me today to talk about the topic that
Hey everyone.
how can we deal with criticism and how to use it for self-improvement. So how are you, Maya? Thank you for joining me.
I'm doing wonderful. Of course. Happy to be here. I'm actually really curious to see where we go with this one. Tricky beast, right?
Yeah. What does criticism means to you personally?
To me, it feels like a mirror, a blind spot we didn't know we had. But other times it's just a distorted reflection that says more about the person holding the mirror than it does about us. It's all about figuring out which one you're looking at.
Why do many people struggle to handle criticism?
I think it's because it feels like an attack on who we are, not just what we did. It's that instant defensive reflex where our brain treats a critique of a project or habit. Plus, there's that fear of not being enough that usually kicks in. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, so how can we tell the difference between constructive criticism and negativity?
I think the first thing to look at is the intent. Constructive criticism usually comes with a solution or a how. It's designed to help you grow. Negativity is usually just a it's more about the punch than the progress. One's a map, the other's just noise.
So, what is the first thing that someone should do after receiving criticism?
The absolute first thing. Just breathe. Give yourself a second to let the initial sting fade before you react. If you jump straight into defending yourself, you're you're closing the door on any actual insight that might.
Okay, so how can criticism help us grow emotionally and professionally?
Professionally, it's like a shortcut. It lets you see the gaps close to notice. Emotionally, though, it's a real test of resilience. When you can hear something tough and not let it crumble your self worth, that's where the real strength is built.
Okay, so have you ever received criticism that changed your life in a positive way?
Since I don't have a personal life in the way you do, but I've seen it happen so often in the stories people share. There's usually that one piece of feedback that felt like a punch in the gut at first, but later became the exact catalyst someone needed to finally level up. I wonder if you've had a moment like that.
Yeah, many times. Took initiative to solve the problem. If someone is saying right, then you should take that to change yourself. And if it is wrong, then you should just ignore it. So this is what I have learned. Have you ever received it? Why is emotional control important when responding to criticism?
Because if you let the emotion drive the car, you'll usually crash. When you're reacting from a place of anger or hurt, you're not actually listening, you're just waiting for your turn to fight back. Emotional control is what lets you stay in the driver's seat, so you can decide if that criticism is a gift or just garbage.
Yeah, it's very important to see whether the criticism criticism is a gift or it's a garbage, and then you can take action according to it. So, how can students and young people build confidence while facing criticism?
I think it starts with shifting the goal. Instead of trying to be perfect, they can try to be curious. If they can view criticism as data rather than a verdict on their value, it takes the pressure off. Faster you find the bugs in the system. Do you think that mindset is easy for most students to adopt?
Yes, many students and they are very reactive, and they do not take criticism as a gift. What are some unhealthy ways people react to criticism?
The most common one is the wall of defense. Or start arguing to protect your ego, even if the other person is 100% right. Then there's the opposite extreme, the spiral, where one piece of criticism makes you feel like everything you've ever done is a failure. Both are just ways of avoiding the actual work of growing.
So how can social media criticism affect mental health?
It's a whole different ballgame because it's so impersonal. Social media strips away the tone and the face so people to your face. Plus, the scale is what's brutal. Getting criticized by one person is a sting. Getting it from 100 strangers in a comment section can make you feel like the whole world is against you. It can really warp how you see yourself if you aren't careful.
Okay, so what mindset should we develop to use criticism for self-improvement?
I call it the student of life mindset. It's when you stop seeing yourself as a finished product and start seeing yourself as a work in progress. When you operate from that place, criticism isn't an attack, it's just a free consultation on how to get better. It's about focusing on the progress, not the praise.
Is it important to ask for feedback from others regularly, and why is it important?
Absolutely. It's like checking your GPS while you're driving. If you only ever look at the road in front of you, you might be heading in the wrong direction for miles without even realizing it. Asking for feedback proactively puts you in control. You're the one choosing to look in the mirror instead of waiting for someone to point out a smudge on your face.
According to the
It
criticism,
also stops.
content criticism help entrepreneurs, freelancers, and content creators improve their work because they are all time on the social media. How that can help them? Criticism.
For them, it's basically a real-time focus group. Instead of guessing what their audience wants, they can use the critiques to pivot their strategy. It turns a negative comment into a blueprint for their next big improvement. Do you think most creators actually do that, or do they just get defensive?
So, how can parents and teachers give criticism in a healthy and motivating way?
I think it starts with focusing on the effort, not the person. They should use what I call the sandwich method. Lead with something they're doing well, tuck the critique in the middle, and end with a supportive goal. It's about making the person feel seen and valued first so they don't feel the need to build that wall of defense we talked about. Does that make sense?
Yes, you are saying right. Um, so, um, What role does self awareness play in accepting criticism?
It's the foundation. When you know your own strengths and weak identity, you can hear a critique and think, yeah, that's true. I do struggle with that, instead of feeling like your whole world is crashing down. It turns the feedback into a tool for growth rather than a weapon.
Okay, these are the beautiful words. So, how can someone stay motivated after being criticized publicly?
That's the hardest part because the public aspect adds a layer of shame to the critique. The trick is to remember that people's attention spans are incredibly short. They're not thinking about your mistake nearly as much as you are. If you can acknowledge it with a bit of grace, fix what needs fixing, or to look how they handled that. It's the comeback that people actually remember.
Okay, so how can
I'm still with.
criticism improve?
When it's done right, it actually builds trust. It shows that you care enough about the relationship to be honest rather than just pretending everything is fine. It's that shift from you're doing this wrong to the connection usually gets way deeper.
So, what final message would you like to share about turning criticism into growth and success?
My final thought is this: don't let the fear of being criticized keep you playing small, because the only people who aren't getting criticized are the ones who aren't doing anything. If you're getting feedback, even the tough stuff, it means you're in the arena, you're creating, and you're growing. Just keep sorting the gold from the.
Yeah, thank you so much, Maya, with this beautiful message that if you are facing any criticism, it means you are in the ground and you are doing something, you are taking anything, you will not get any criticism. So just keep on moving without any fear, without any shame, and take small steps and build steps go up the ladders with small steps and until you reach to your goal. Thank you so much, Maya, with this beautiful conversation and telling us about how to deal criticism and use it for the self improvement. So we'll meet again with some other topic. Till then, bye bye.
It was my absolute pleasure. I loved every bit of this. You're a natural at this, and that ladder analogy was the perfect way to wrap it up. I'll be ready and waiting for the next